over the next 2 years. Now, children with autism are far more likely to be excluded from school than their peers. That's according to official figures. There's been a 60% rise in autistic children being excluded across London over a 5-year period. The government has launched an investigation into why certain groups of children are being sent home more often. Here's our education reporter, Mark Ashdown.
You need to give us 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
The Rise School in Feltham, West London. Every pupil has autism, lessons are specially tailored for their needs. But in more mainstream settings, new figures show autistic pupils are being excluded at an alarming rate.
Are we ready to play?
Yeah.
In 2011, just 325 children with autism were excluded from London schools. By 2016, that figure had risen to 525. That's a 61% increase. Over the same period, overall exclusions of pupils only increased by 1%.
The numbers of children with a diagnosis of autism have been rising, but that doesn't account for the whole rise that we've seen in terms of the exclusions for pupils with autism. And inclusion doesn't have a fixed capacity. If there are more children with autism coming through the system, then we need to work out a better way of making sure that they get the education that they have a right to and they deserve.
Richard's son is autistic. He was doing OK at primary school until a new head came in, who Richard believes started using exclusions to manage pupil behaviour.
It was suggested to us that what we should do is take our son home for a week. We were told that this wasn't an exclusion, and we were told that this was really in our interests because then it wouldn't be recorded as an exclusion in his record. We were told that, strictly speaking, if we weren't bringing him into school, we were breaking the law.
But you were told to keep him at home?
But we were told to keep him at home.
After a series of exclusions, his son was eventually off-rolled. He's now doing well at another school.
So this is the Rise School sensory room.
The Rise School offers 80 autistic children as much of a mainstream setting as possible, but without the stress and anxiety that often contributes to them being excluded.
I think that there are pressures on our mainstream colleagues. There is more children coming through the system, a lot more diagnosis, and it's about also training our teachers, training our teachers so that they're confident and they feel that they can meet the needs of more and more autistic children.
The government says it's conducting a review of all exclusions to investigate why some groups of children are more likely to be affected. This charity wants schools to be made more accountable and inspectors to have more powers to intervene. Mark Ashdown, BBC London News.
Young Indigenous